Hi guys, it's Brigitte. So I'm trying a new angle here because I moved like my desk and stuff around in my craft room, and it's kind of a gloomy day here today. So I hope you guys can see good or see well and see clearly what I'm going to do. A couple of you had asked um, on my last video about the matchbook, the swap that I did with Anna, if I would show you guys how to make stick pins. And I know that there are a lot of tutorials on like how-tos, but this is just the way that I go about it. I don't know if there's the same way that someone else does it. In the past when I was interested, I watched a lot of videos as well. So I have all my stuff in front of me, some of which you can't see, thank God, because I am working on something and my desk is like a little 3x3 cubicle right now because like lace, everything is everywhere. So I store my beads in various ways. I have this really, I think it's a 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 compartment cheap jewelry case that I had gotten from Michael's. And then I also have these things, which I don't think, they're called, the system I think is called Stow and Go, but it has like a compartment on the top where the handle is, and then 3 drawers with these snaps on them, and then it looks kind of like that. Now I have, I have like stuff for stick pins, I have stuff for charms, so I keep them in various places, but I rely on these compartments a lot. So what I really do is I wing it. I don't really have like a real plan when I sit down to make stick pins. And I'll show you, I just organize, well, you can't really see it, but I organize this one of the Stow and Go with all my stick pins and some various like beads and stuff that I guess didn't have another home. But so I go into this and I kind of look around to see what I'm in the mood for. If I'm in the mood for like, these or these that are the teardrop shape or the circular shape, or decorative ones that are like this. And then I kind of, pull out various ones and I look at all my beads, like what colors I feel like doing, pink, clear, pearls, and I lay them out. And as you can see here, I've just kind of laid out a few already on my pins, on my stick pins. I don't know if you guys, if it's clear. I don't even know where to point the, but I'm looking at you on the viewfinder. But anyway, and then I lay it out. Sometimes I use spacers. I will actually thread these spacers. I'll thread these spacers on, and then it might not look good with the beads I have, gold, silver, I don't know. Sometimes I have like these spacers. Sometimes I have bead caps of all kinds. I have like these things, and it really just depends. Sometimes I will go through a whole pin like this and look at it and be like, no, that's not the effect I was going for. But today I'm using pretty much all of like clear beads. Oh wow, can't even. But anyway, so when I decide on what it is that I like on the actual pin, These are like little seed beads that come on the string beads. And then this is a pink, like iridescent one, and then this is a clear. And today I've actually strung them just with the seed beads. No spacers, no pretty rhinestone spacers. Excuse me. Sometimes with the white pearl, now you can color these with your Copics or your alcohol inks or whatever, if you don't want just the white pearl, but I thought this was a pretty one. And then what I do is I use glossy accents. I find that it's the strongest bond and it's clear, so even if you use like a little too much, I'm sorry, I think there's way too much for the camera to focus on, but anyway, then I'll push this down a little bit. See, I have a lot of space to work with here. So I'll push the beads down, making sure to hold my finger down here. And I had cut off the tip of my glossy accents a while ago because it just made me mad. So I'm using this one. The pointier tip would be better. I also do have that art glitter glue. That's great. It goes out, it comes out white but dries clear. That's a good one too. But then this is really what I do. At the tip, I will just put like a little dab, and I'll even spin it around with my hand. I don't know if you can see that. And then I'll just basically push the bead up. If I feel like it's going to make a big like blob up there, I'll push it back down and push it up again. And then I'll reinforce it with this one, and then I'll let go. And then sometimes if it's really too much, I'll just wipe it off. And then sometimes I skip a bead, but if it's a really big bead like this one, I'll even go like so far as like putting the glue on the whole area there, pushing it up, coming back down, and then I'll just do all of this. I usually glue every single bead just because. Okay. And I forgot the last one. Okay, so that's how I do that. Now, when I am happy, like with the sticking situation, or if I have to just clean it up a little bit or whatever, I usually pretty much with glossy accents, I leave it alone because you can't tell in the end. What I do is I take this thing, which I get a lot of in the embossing folders. I don't know if they're all like that, but I know the Tim Holtz embossing folders or the texture fades, these like foam blocks come in there, and they're great because what you do is, or what I do is, I put it in there all the way to the end of that bead, the last bead, and even if it sticks out from the bottom, it's okay because then I lay it on its side since I have pushed it all the way to the foam. I let it dry. I'll put it there for now. And then I go on to the next one. So with this one, I decided to use some of my green beads. And I thought it looked really good with the antique spacers. This one. And then I have more of like a small tulip shaped one. And really, it's just experimenting. I had put beads on here, the little ones, and I didn't like them, so I figured let me try the antique colored ones. And here I put a flat one, just because if you don't put anything here between the bead and the pin, it just kind of looks empty. It just doesn't look finished to me. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. So I'm just going to put... Sometimes with a spacer, if you put too much glue, it's okay because it sometimes seeps through, and you can even get away with putting both beads. And then sometimes if you get lazy, which I do, of course, I'll admit it, it's okay. I'll skip that bead because I know I still have beads to go here, and I'll glue the spacer to the bead. And even if you don't do it perfectly right there, you're still going to glue. So it's not an exact science. I used to be so worried about the glue seeping out and being a perfectionist, and I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. With certain projects, yes, but with stick pins, they turn out beautiful no matter what you do. So I glued that green one, and then I'm not going to glue this spacer. I'm going to glue it to the bottom since I'm going to be pushing it. Well, you know what? No, the hole in that seemed awfully big, so I'm going to glue that. And then, whoop, I hope you guys can see me. Oh wow, a lot came out. Okay, so let me just wipe it on a tissue. Okay. Okay, so that's what you get. Whoop. And again, I'm going to take this. Just be careful that you're paying attention to what you're doing so that you don't stick yourself on this side, because it is dangerous. You can imagine I speak from experience, right? So that's what that looks like. So you push it all the way to the bottom, and don't worry, if you just have a little excess glue down there and you wipe it off, it's not going to stick to this foam thing. So, you know, you can let them cure on this thing when you're doing your other ones, or if it's going to be overnight or whatever, you know. So this is one I experimented with. That's the diamond head. Okay, so I used just the standard, I consider these like standard bead caps, I don't know why. But what I did with this one is I wanted to have an effect of a flower. So I put the spacer, and then it looked kind of funny with just the bead butting up against it, so I put a little seed bead there. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I like the way the silver tones and this little iridescent bead down here looked with the blue and the clear. So I'm just going to go ahead and do one more. I just have to be careful since I cut this tip, you know, it comes out pretty quickly. And I'm going to reinforce this one on both ends. And even if like towards the middle of your stick pin you get a lot of glue, it's really okay because it's the middle and no one's really going to see that. I just wanted to share with you my thinking and my process. And like I said, you know, this is by no way like a professional way to do this. It's just the way, whether or not it's shortcuts or what I've seen and what works for me, and, you know, as far as time constraints and what supplies I have and, you know, all that. So that's the last little bit. I'm just going to, oops, I'm losing my case here. I'm just going to wipe that off a little. I just wanted to reinforce that a little bit right there. So that's, let me see. Okay, so that's the last one. And you know what, really it is just about color and playing around, and if you're making them for someone, what they like or what colors they like, you know, you just play around and really have fun with your beads. You don't have to have a million beads or, you know, a million supplies. If you just have pearls, use pearls. If you only have white pearls, color them, you know? So there's no real right or wrong with these. But anyway, so then I'll leave them to dry, and I will, I do have it here on my desk, I think. Yeah, one of the matchbooks that I had shared with you. And what I do is, I'll do it with just the plain one since the glue is drying. I'll show you this way. I just put the pin straight through. Just like that. And the glue is dry at that point, so I'm not afraid of the paper ripping or the glue sticking to the paper. If you want, you can put those little rubber stoppers if you have them. I don't have them, so I don't use them. But anyway, then, you know, you close it however you're going to close it. And I usually try to package it as close to the last bead as possible so that they don't, like, fall out all over the place, which I guess if you have a rubber stopper, it won't. But then that's it. When you open it up, you have your stick pins and a really nice little gift. So I really appreciate you guys watching and inquiring about stuff that I do. This is a lot of fun for me to show you my process or my thinking. If you guys have any questions, you know, don't hesitate. I love reading your comments, and I do get back to you. So everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.